Thank you. Thank you and welcome again. Once again, welcome to our channel. Welcome, Listra. So on this channel, we normally talk about mental health, kind of situation we go through in life. And we talk about having some condition that we have to deal with throughout the life, or it can be anything that's also may be bothering us in our life that is blocking us not to move forward. And so in today's topic, we're going to talk about depression. We're going to talk about depression and what is depression and how can we overcome depression. So normally depression, it happens to anyone. You can be a child, you can be an adult, you can be an elderly. We go through depression. So depression is the kind of feelings that makes you feel unhappy and hopeless and losing interest of some of the things that you normally love doing, or sometimes people do cry. They may be going through loneliness time. They may be going through a period of sickness and feeling like the sickness is taking so long or the condition is not going to go anywhere. So normally depression is a feeling, is unhappiness feelings we normally get and make us feel like there is no hope, or even if there is hope, but you don't see it coming. So, Listra, do you have any better explanation what depression may be?
Well, I don't know about it better, but I can add to what you're saying. Okay, and one idea that came up while you were speaking is that depression happens because of loss. Some kind of loss in our lives, either loss of a loved one, loss of our health, loss of something that is dear to us. And also the root of depression, from my learning, is anger towards yourself.
That's very true.
Yeah, because a lot of the times we do not realize that we're angry against ourselves, because we blame ourselves for things that we lose or things that go wrong in relationships and everything. We feel guilty. We feel like we're not worthy because of low self-esteem and all these things. So we're angry against ourselves. So that's all I needed to add.
Well, that's definitely when you say that, I could see it myself, because the first time I felt like I'm depressed, I felt like there is something else has come into me, like I wasn't myself, and I felt like I'm living with the monster inside me. And the day I realized that actually these are the feelings that I'm developing, that was much more helpful. And also I realized that most of us, when we are depressed, we think like there is somebody outside there who's making us depressed. Yeah. Or feel like there is someone who is, talking to you, or who is, making or have these feelings. Yeah. And the day I realized that there is nobody giving me all these feelings, that's the day I conquered with depression. I don't know if you have any example, Ristra, that you can give us how you find yourself feeling depressed. So what happened? What caused it?
Yeah. Well, as a young person, a teenager, well, as a child, I would say before teenager, because of low self-esteem, because of feeling ugly, feeling unimportant, then I was a depressed child, I would say. And even bullying in school and everything, that sort of steamrolled everything and made me feel really, really negative. So I never to make friends. I was always sad. I got on with my work. I was very competitive. However, I couldn't deny that I was feeling so low within myself. So in that case, I know that sometimes a lot of us, especially young people, we feel depressed. We feel that nobody loves us and alone. And combinated with the cyber attacks from other people.
Yeah.
That's because we didn't have internet in those days. So it was mainly, bullying was mainly verbal or when you're in school.
Yeah.
So you had some time off from it. Now there's constant bullying on the internet and everything for the young people. So that makes you feel unimportant. You rely on likes to define yourself. And if somebody don't like your photo or something that you put up, you tend to feel sad, as if you haven't got friends. You might have 3,000 friends, but you can't really count the real friends on your hands. So all these things add to depression.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something to do how you felt when you were still young. And I think I remember going through the same thing. I remember going through the same thing when at times I wasn't appreciating myself, who I am. I wasn't appreciating myself for how I look and those kind of things. And also that didn't end up me growing up. And also as an adult, going to college, universities, and, meeting different people. And I've realized throughout your life, we have this kind of internal talking in ourselves, and those talking characterized by criticizing ourselves, or I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. And so those kind of negativity, again, they can put someone feeling low mood, and you're going to uni or you're going to work, but you still have those internal feelings, those internal conversation you're having to yourselves. And those kind of talking, those kind of conversation you're having to yourself really do matter a lot. And that's what I always tell people, that what do you actually tell yourself? Because what you're telling yourself, that's the experience you're going to have. Because I grow up seeing all these kind of things, and I was like, I wish to what I know now, I knew them when I was still young. I wish if somebody have spoken to me about all these kind of things. Sometimes even go out, or you're doing something and you're thinking like, oh, there's someone watching you, or there's someone who's better than you. You can't even get this job. You can't even get this higher mark because she's smart or he is smarter than you. You're having all those internal talking, and you're wondering where all these things are coming from. So I think from what you've just said, and how for me, depression it's a conversation that we need to have on daily basis with our friends, with our families, with our children, and just like educating them about what is the depression. Depression, normally we are worrying about the and desired outcome of what we are thinking of. Let's say I want to achieve something, and then I will, your mind will be telling you, oh, I don't think you can achieve that, or I don't think you can have that mark because this one will have higher mark than you. So all those undesired outcome are the one making us feeling depressed. So how actually, Listra, do you mind telling us if you have any way, if you know any way that we can manage to cope with depression?
Okay, so I've done some assessment of people with depression, and one way of showing them how they materializing depression is like being in a tunnel. That tunnel is dark, no light. You can't see light because you're actually facing the wall of the tunnel instead of facing the light. But when you realize that you're angry with yourself, that the depression comes from within you, and therefore it has to be resolved within you, then you're able to turn towards the light of the tunnel, and then you'll find your way out. A lot of the times I would ask people, so how do you feel about yourself? And they would tell me they hate themselves. And that would be the basic of the depression, because you hate yourself. So you need to come to the point of loving yourself. So irrespective of what other people feel about you, do not let yourself be defined by what others think about you. And then you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Then you'll walk out of the tunnel into the light. And then you'll realize that depression is something that can be overcome. You don't need to take, yes, of course, some people will need to take medication because the medication might help you to reach a realization that you don't need it. And also, because we are not medical professionals, always, if you're depressed, go to a medical professional, we'll advise and get some help. But there are many things you can do for yourself as well. And the most number one important thing is start loving yourself. Start seeing yourself as beautiful, start seeing yourself as clever, start raising your self-esteem. Even though people are not telling you, you start to see yourself, and you will see the reality of yourself. As you start to tell yourself, you might not believe it initially, but keep telling yourself that you're beautiful, I'm clever, I'm happy. Keep telling yourself positive things, and then eventually you will feel a vibration within you that you've actually overcome the depression.
Well, that's very interesting. You see, when we were still little, we were under our moms and dads' hands. They were able to take care of us and looking after us and meet all the needs. But then once you start growing up, you realize you're actually becoming more independent. The more you realize you just actually yourself, although you may have a family around, but your action, your results, no one else's results. So I think for me, what I can say to advise people or anyone who is feeling depressed right now, or anyone who is bothered in their mind about how they are feeling, you may be having bad feelings for your work, for your partner, for anything that is causing bad feelings to you. I just want you to pay attention on that thought you are having right now. How long did it take you to develop that thought? I don't think it took more than 1 second. It took 1 second to develop that bad thought, and you encourage it, because the more we think about something, the more we giving it space to expand every single day, or every 1 hour, every single day, 1 week, 3 weeks, or whatever. So for something you developed in 1 second, it end up taking most of your whole time, most of your life. I can assure you that it takes only 1 second as well to completely change your mind over. So the only thing I can say is just to start practicing thinking, double think about what you think about, because what you're thinking about, that's what you're going to become. So do you really actually want to be a happy person? So who's going to bring in that happiness? Definitely it's not me. Definitely it's not your father. It's not your mother. It's not your husband. It's yourself. Once you give yourself that happiness, once you embrace yourself, once you let yourself go, that happiness will come. And another thing that I can advise you to do is to think about good things. You know, you remember those days, or even now, if someone says something funny, you will just laugh throughout. Mm-hmm. So tell yourself those things that make you laugh, make you feel good, and laugh to the floor. You know, just keep doing those things, because all those things will help you. I will say that there is nothing wrong. Before, I used to think there's something wrong with my brain. The brain you have is just one part of organ of your body. There's nothing wrong with it. Where things goes wrong is your mind. So your mind is a combination of all your body, including the toes, hands, feet, tummy, everything. Your mind, what you want to touch, you know, what you want to feel, how you want to be seen, everything. You're the one in control of it. The same way you wake up in the morning, you choose to wear this type of color clothes and color shoes and this type of bag. You choose them, you put them on, you feel this is a perfect. The same way you should organize your brain. The same way you should organize your mind. The same way you should organize your thinking, your thoughts. How do you want to feel today? Do you want to feel good? And then start with you. Tell yourself you feel good, you feel beautiful, and just show it. Go out there, smile to people, say hello. They will say hello to you. If you keep quiet, people will leave you to keep quiet. So is this the only way is to have this good thinking and good positive mindset and wishing yourself good things to flow around you. So, Risra, I don't know if you have anything else to add to this.
Right, well, absolutely. And there's some depression is caused by hormones as well. So that's why I was advising if you do feel depressed, you can actually visit a medical professional like your doctor to check if it's hormonal or whether it's your thoughts. So on that note, thank you very much for listening, everyone. We hope that this program has been inspiring to you. And remember to like, give your comment, subscribe, and press the notification bell so that whenever we upload more videos, you will be the first to get it. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome.